Good morning, everybody. Dr. Jimmy Henderson again, cognitive scientist and metaphysician. Today I'm going to be talking about that enigmatic concept called the soul. But I won't be using a religious framework. I'll be using my psycho-spiritual approach, in which I try to explain metaphysical concepts in terms of psychology and science. So in line with this thinking, I would make the statement that the universe, there is consciousness in the universe, and that at the highest level we have a powerful universal consciousness which permeates everything, and that this consciousness, so you can think of this universal conscious energy forming pockets, little pockets of individual consciousness, which we would then call our essence or soul. And this extends down from the highest realms of being, of creation, of reality. It extends down to what we would call the human sphere, or the physical sphere. And then it enters into human bodies and bringing life and consciousness. This is because the conscious energy is forming what we call a stepping down into a manifest state, which we could call the universal soul, and contains within itself all the aspects of this energy, which is life and consciousness and perfection, activity, light, beauty, structure. All the aspects that we see in the physical world are contained within this universal soul, including aspects of what we would call personality, like compassion and love, all originating from this source. So what actually happens is that this soul, which some people call the monad, or their other names, I see it as the essence of the origin of man. As I said, it is stepped down through the different realms of energy levels to eventually enter the human body. And when it does, it undergoes transformation, because the human body obviously is scientifically is a lot more dense, and our neural systems are not as advanced as we think they are. They're quite slow actually, and so this energy is then stepped down into a form that gives us everyday consciousness and life. But because of the stepping down process, a lot of it is lost, and this is why we're not aware of our origins and the fullness of this conscious energy. We're just not aware of it, because the structures of the body, the neural systems, the slow neural systems, as well as the mind, will all affect this light of the soul, this energy. You see, what happens is that this energy, this individualized energy, then enters the body and activates the brain to the point where we have a mind. We become self-aware, and then we have a mind. And as you know, through life, through conditioning and learning and unlearning, or learning I would say, we actually build up a lot of mental blocks and limitations in the mind as well. So we have this soul, or soul personality, coming through and entering into the body and losing much of its energy and power because of the attenuation of the body and the mind, and the entanglements of the mind. So at the end of the day, we're left with a very low level of consciousness compared to the original conscious energy, and with which we manage day to day. So in line with this, the point of life would actually be, of human life, is actually be to open these channels once again, learn to manage the instincts and the drives of the body, the lower instincts and drives, align the body more with this energy, align the mind with this energy by clearing it out, getting rid of all these unhelpful beliefs, intense emotions, drama, everything which makes a block to the light of this energy of the soul. And well, hopefully one day then we'll reach the point where the soul is able to manifest more fully. And I think this is probably the task of the individual, although there are other tasks when it comes in on a universal level. This should be the task of the individual, is to clear the way for the coming of the soul. So how do we reach this level of the soul? Well, once again, we have to use an altered state of consciousness, such as during meditation. We cannot rationally connect with the soul. It's on such a high level of energy that we can't connect with it normally. We have to go into an altered state where the mind is completely quiet, and then we enter into ourselves, and then we go deeper and deeper until we reach what we first of all call the authentic self. Now, the authentic self would be that point where the soul enters the body. It's still pure at this stage, and because it hasn't been conditioned, such as a birth of an infant. Everything is still perfect. It hasn't been conditioned in any way, although it's passing through the body now. In psychology, we call the authentic self the highest and most moral part of oneself. And that would then mean that this is the point where the soul actually enters before it's been stepped down, so to speak. And once we've passed through the authentic self, which is basically during meditation is the I am meditation, that point of self-awareness, of pure consciousness without any conditioning, the authentic self, we then move deeper and set an intention then to move and connect with the soul, which is on a higher level, even higher level. So we have to use more advanced techniques of meditation and visualization to connect with this light source, which we can call the soul. And how will you know when you've connected with this? Well, I think my personal experience has been, ask yourself the question, what is my name? What is my name? You see, the soul has no name. The soul is that part of you that before incarnation, which actually is coming direct from the energy, the universal energy source, and therefore doesn't have a name. It only gets a name when we give it a name in the social world. So if you reach the point where you connect with an experience, and you ask yourself, what is my name? And the answer intuitively comes to you, I have no name. I am soul. At that point, you are connecting with the soul, touching the soul, and you'll find that a lot of all the beliefs fall away, all the doubts fall away, because you're now in a pure state of consciousness, without the programming and without the lessons that have been come along the way. So yes, you can connect the soul or connect with the soul, and that is the purpose, as I said, of the human being is to connect with the soul and to allow it to come forth into this world. In other words, you have a progression from the highest levels of conscious energy down to the human conscious energy. In other words, we become a full expression of the universal consciousness. So I want to thank you for your time this morning, and invite you to visit my website. I've got videos there and more articles which might interest you. It's www.discoveringyourself.co.za. Thank you.